Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. General Hospital spoilers spill. Trina Robinson, Taviana Ali, is finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with Spencer Cassadine. Nicholas Alexander Chavez, pegging herself as impatient and unwilling to wait for the relationship he was forced to place on the back burner. Trina is relieved by Spencer's urgency to sweep her off her feet and whisk her away to New York City. Can a weekend in Manhattan really save this couple from disrepair? Sadly, word on the street is that they'll never make it out of Port Charles before Esme Prince, Avery Kristen Pohl, sounds the alarm that brings Spencer right back to her side. How much longer can Trina withstand being slighted? And how far will Trina go to hang on to Spencer? Esme won't hesitate to use an upcoming cause for alarm to her advantage. She heard every word of what Spencer had to say about her in Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Brown office, and she knows she'll have her work cut out for her if she wants Spencer to see her in a new light. So when the opportunity presents itself for her to play the damsel in distress and garner more attention from Spencer, she'll rush to use it. Trina might continue to have her suspicions about that, but there is never a good time for her to paint her motives as anything less than kosher without looking like the bad guy. Meanwhile, Spencer won't see through it. Of course, we all know what the cause for alarm is. Nicholas Cassadine, Adam Huss, is alive. Eventually, he's going to want to take hold of what he believes is rightfully his. While Nick hasn't had trouble with abandoning his child in the past, this time might hit differently, especially if his mother manages to reach him. Laura Collins, Jenny Francis, has a way with words that can leave Nicholas buried in shame. If he chooses to face his fears and come home to Port Charles, Esme and Spencer's primary concern will be ensuring he can't take Ace away from them. At this juncture, it's anyone's guess who will suggest that Spencer and Esme need to take extreme action to make sure they don't lose Ace. Sure, Nicholas might be a wanted man, but he's got connections that his son Spencer doesn't. Worried that he'll be able to get off scot-free and take off with Ace, Esme and Spencer could be in a real bind as they rack their minds for ways to make sure Nicholas can't stake claim to Ace. Will it be Trina who offers up the idea that a fudged paternity test could annex Nick by proving Spencer is Ace's father after all? Would she dare to enlist her mother's help? It could work to keep Nicholas out of the picture and out of town. But will Trina be able to hack a future with Spencer that keeps him bound to Esme forever? Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to find out. Port Charles is never short on drama, and the latest emotional storm to hit involves one of the show's most beloved couples, Trina Robinson and Spencer Cassadine. The young duo has been through it all: kidnappings, betrayals, family feuds, and the ever-complicated Cassadine legacy. But a shocking new twist could test the very limits of their love. As Spencer faces the prospect of fatherhood in the most unexpected way, fans are left wondering, does Trina love him enough to help him step into this terrifying grown-up role? Let's dig into the emotional crossroads that may define Trina's future and shake up everything we thought we knew about their young romance. Trina and Spencer's relationship is the kind that soaps are made for, equal parts angst and allure. From the moment Spencer returned to Port Charles under a false identity, viewers sensed the chemistry. But it wasn't until they truly let their guards down that magic happened. Trina, strong and brilliant, rounded Spencer in ways he never knew he needed. And Spencer, impulsive and passionate, gave Trina a taste of a wild romance she hadn't been prepared for but secretly craved. Yet despite their love, nothing has been easy. From Esme Prince's manipulations to Victor Cassadine's schemes and Spencer's own reckless decisions, every chapter of their story has demanded a new level of trust and patience. Still, they survived it all. But can they survive what comes next? Recent spoilers hint at a game-changing development for Spencer. While Esme is presumed dead after her latest disappearance, shocking whispers suggest that she may have left behind more than just chaos, possibly a child. And not just any child, but Spencer's child. The idea of Spencer becoming a father has fans divided. On one hand, he has a complicated history with his own upbringing. Between being neglected, shipped off to boarding school, and caught between Nicholas and various Cassadine power plays, Spencer's childhood was no fairy tale. On the other hand, Could this baby be the wake-up call he needs? A real chance to break the cycle of dysfunction. That's where Trina comes in. Because if Spencer is the father, it's not just his life that's changing, it's hers too. For someone like Trina, who has always prioritized logic and future goals, this revelation is nothing short of earth-shattering. She's on the cusp of graduating, launching a promising art history career, and maybe even studying abroad. Her life is just beginning. Is she truly ready to take on the emotional, and possibly legal, baggage that comes with helping Spencer raise another woman's child? More importantly, would stepping into that role betray her own dreams? Trina has always been self-assured, but this is a new kind of challenge. Does love mean sacrificing her vision for her future? Or is it about expanding her idea of what a perfect life might look like? Even in death, or presumed death, Esme looms large over Trina and Spencer's lives. Her manipulations, her lies, and her connection to Spencer were always a sore point for Trina, no matter how much she tried to hide it. Being asked to potentially help raise Esme's child? That's an emotional landmine. Can Trina truly embrace the idea of nurturing the child of the woman who once framed her, tormented her, and tried to steal her man? And if she does, what does that say about her strength or her limits? Trina's struggle might not just be about whether she can support Spencer, but whether she's willing to forgive the circumstances that led them here. Spencer Cassadine has come a long way from the arrogant, snarky teen viewers first met. Though he still wrestles with entitlement and insecurity, recent months have shown tremendous growth. He'd started taking accountability, questioning his legacy, and even entertaining the idea of building a life not built on his family's fortune. If this baby is indeed his, Spencer may be forced to accelerate that maturity even further. Being a father is no small task, especially without Esme in the picture. The idea of co-parenting with Trina, or relying on her for emotional support, is touching but also incredibly complicated. Would Spencer even want Trina involved in that way? Or would guilt drive him to try to manage it alone? Spoilers suggest he'll wrestle with the idea of pushing Trina away for her own good. But we all know how that goes. Noble self-sacrifice rarely ends well on soaps. If Spencer tries to handle this solo, it could drive a wedge between them that may never be repaired. Of course, this storyline wouldn't just affect Trina and Spencer. Expect a cascade of reactions from their inner circle. Portia, Trina's ever-protective mother, will almost certainly blow a gasket. After all, she already doubted Spencer's reliability and has long feared his influence on her daughter's future. This news would only confirm her worst suspicions. Taggart, if he's still in the picture, could provide a more measured reaction. He may remind Trina that love sometimes means stepping into uncomfortable roles, and that there's power in choosing your own path, even if it's messy. And then there's Laura. Spencer's grandmother has always been his moral compass, and she might be the one person who encourages him to rise to the occasion. Don't be surprised if she reaches out to Trina privately, urging her to see the situation through a lens of compassion rather than betrayal. There's another layer to all of this, one that could turn heartbreak into something more profound. What if Trina chooses yes? What if she decides that her love for Spencer isn't about fairy tale endings, but about standing beside him when life gets real? Helping raise a child, especially one with such a complicated origin, would not be easy, but it could open the door to a new kind of relationship, one based on commitment, resilience, and trust. And let's not forget, soap babies grow fast. A year from now, this storyline could evolve into Trina falling in love with a child who calls her mom, whether legally or not. That image alone is enough to make even the most skeptical fans soften. At its heart, this storyline isn't just about surprise pregnancies or complicated custody battles. It's about what happens after the honeymoon phase. Can Trina and Spencer's love survive real-world problems? Can a young woman with her whole life ahead of her choose love, and potentially motherhood, on her own terms?